Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Newple here, Knup Sports Show, episode 186. Super excited to be here again with you guys. Appreciate you tuning in, giving a little bit of your time to this little old show I like to call the Knup Sports Show. It's almost Christmas. We're hitting the holiday season, so actually I'm heading to Tennessee next week for a little vacation. I'm excited to get out of Orlando, Florida, and head up to the mountains, head up to Tennessee, and enjoy some time away. So should be good. Well, let's talk today. We have another special guest, but actually, we have special guests today. I have two people with me that I'm excited to get to know myself, and I think you guys are going to enjoy their story and what all they're up to as well. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on John and Kristina Mehaffey. John, Kristina, how are you two?
Doing great, Ryan. How are you doing? Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you.
Really good. Excited to have you two on. And how you doing? Where are you two living? I think you're out in wonderful Vegas, right?
Yes, we live in Las Vegas. Been out here about 12 years.
Amazing. For us gaming and sports betting like fans, man, we're jealous of you living out in Vegas where the gaming happens.
Yeah, it's not always easy, but you get accustomed to living here. It takes some getting used to.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to jump into Vegas Advantage and what all you're doing currently, but I'd love to hear a little bit about you two's past. We always start with kind of understanding, maybe the career paths and things that brought you to where you're at today. So John, maybe we'll start with you, and you can kind of tell the story of getting to where you guys are today. I'll let you kind of run with it from there.
Okay, well, in gaming, I started about 20 years ago as a poker prop at America's Card Room, back in those days. And I worked as a prop for a few other sites. And around 2004, I started a rakeback site directory. It's called Rake Rebate Review. And that led to another online poker job, which led to another one. And eventually that landed us here in Las Vegas. And then online poker didn't really do what we had hoped it would. And so we moved on to the casino side of things. And later on, Kristina helped me with a lot of the Las Vegas projects, and eventually we became business partners about 3 years ago.
That's amazing. That's really cool. Kristina, have anything to add there?
My role kind of started. I'm a data nerd. If I can put it in a spreadsheet, I love to play with it. So a lot of my involvement started when he was asked to collect different sets of data or whatnot. The one we're most famous for is the table game survey, where we actually count every table on the Las Vegas Strip, and then we expanded to the locals casinos downtown. Excuse me. My role was taking all the information he gathered and putting it in a form that could be understood. And so putting stuff in the spreadsheets, and then of course my data nerdiness gets a hold of me, and I like to go analyze and make graphs and charts and compare data from years to years. So that's kind of been my role in the background. And so we actually started taking Vegas Advantage a little more seriously. Started as a hobby site, more so for John. Place just to write what was going on about Vegas and things there. And actually right before the pandemic, we decided that we were going to make it official and expand out. And so I officially joined on to do more than just the data.
Sounds like a match made in heaven. I mean,
Yes.
You need all sorts of, you need these pieces that all fit together to make any business and any operation work. And not only do you guys have those pieces, but you're married as well, correct?
There were some people who thought this was a crazy thing we were trying, but we knew we are great balance. We had a decade of working on the surveys, and a lot of that historical data would have been lost had she not been able to record it and put it in safely save it. Because I would never have been able to keep track of it.
That's amazing. I could talk about the old days forever. I mean, the old you said America's Card Room. I did a lot of experience with America's Card Room as well, and those were the good old days when poker was booming. Do you miss those days at all when online poker was really a focal point?
I really do, and for a while there, I was doing it as a job. I was in the restaurant industry. In about 2003, I went to Kristina, and we'd only been married about a year at this point. And I said, I'm losing money by going to work because I'm getting paid 100% rate back at this poker site, and I'm beating the players. So, I'm making twice as much playing poker. Then it was a tough conversation. We lived in Atlanta, and that was kind of, we didn't have poker anywhere there. And so it was, not the easiest discussion to have, but she was very supportive. I mean, it didn't require much thought for her. She went, well, let me see. Okay, well, you got it. I see it. So I my restaurant job and never looked back. And I've always been in gaming ever since, one way or another, whether it's owning websites or working for the poker rooms or working for poker affiliates, one way or another, poker media.
Yeah, the affiliate space, that's something near and dear to my heart. And I know you had some experience there and still are, doing some affiliate stuff. But, that's a world we can talk about a little bit later. Right now, I want to dive into actually VegasAdvantage.com, which is your project that you're really going heavy on right now. And you guys, it's your baby. Tell us a little bit about it. I'll pull it up here side by side as well, and we'll scroll through it. But tell us a little bit about the site, what the goal of it is, how it's going, all of the above.
Well, it started out as just a place for me to publish a story about a poker room closing. And I already had the domain, and I thought, well, this is a good place to put it because I was in between. I just left a job and didn't have anything set up for freelancing. And so that's how that started. And we were selling the blackjack and table game surveys to a partner. And after the January 2021, we decided, why are we doing this? Why don't we build our own business with this work? And so in February of 2020, she turned in a resignation as a teacher. And then, what happened in March 2020. So our timing could not have been any worse. And that set us back some, but we were ready for it. Anything that this has thrown at us, we've been able to go with. But the blackjack and the table game information, there are now 71 casinos in Las Vegas that deal at least a live blackjack game. And at least once a year, we visit all of them. And we go into some of the other ones that used to, just to see if maybe they brought them back or what's going on there with electronic table games. Kristina covers a lot of the electronic table games these days. So if you wanted to know where this obscure table game is in Las Vegas, if you could play it, you'd go to that table games tab, and it's either in the directory or there's one that says other games that are basically a list of where there's just one or two of them. And then, so whatever, and you find the limits to the last time we visited these casinos. And then we have all the poker rooms in Las Vegas listed. There's 19 right now. There were 31 before the pandemic. So that was one of the projects. So the pandemic was, terrible, but also when it reopened, it gave us a lot of ideas. We SEO'd around open Las Vegas poker rooms, and so many of them closed and many didn't open right away. That was a huge topic. And so, not so much now because they've either come back or they have not. And I don't think we're going to see any new ones, or maybe one here and there.
Sure.
But that's kind of, so we did take advantage somewhat of the bad timing by making it,
we made our website a place where people could go get relevant information. So we made it what a website should be, something useful.
Yeah. Well, and let's speak to that. Let's speak to that a little bit. So you're very niche.
Yeah.
Very niche to Las Vegas, but let's speak to what makes a great website, right? And I mean, I think it's more than just, putting up a site that looks nice. You got to have relevant, updated content all the time. And I'm guessing that's one of your biggest, maybe not challenges, but just keeping up with the constant content, is probably something you can speak to as being important for sure.
It is. I think we pride ourselves on trying to give the most relevant information out there that we can to help the average player have a better edge on, their casino experience. I mean,
sure.
We're not dumb. The pretty buildings are built because our money goes in and doesn't come back out. So our goal is to give people the most value fun that they can find for the price range that they have to spend. And the same way you're willing to spend money at the movies or amusement park a day at Disneyland, as long as you budget your gambling accordingly, we kind of help people, take that responsibility by saving you the time to look for where the best games are. We help you find those games so that with somebody's particular game interests and areas where they can find the best games for the best limits, so they can have the best Vegas vacation they can. So,
And Kristina handles a lot of that updating, and we have other state sites where she makes sure we keep that as updated as possible, because a lot of these other markets have no coverage at all.
Yeah.
The ones in Las Vegas are good and some aren't, but other places like we have an Atlantic City advantage and Maryland advantage, and there's just not really a comparable type site for these.
So let's talk about the biz side of it a little bit. And knowing that you've been in the affiliate world for so long, I'm guessing there's an element of affiliate marketing in here. That you guys are you guys partnered with a lot of the casinos and sports books, or how are you guys actually monetizing this site and other sites that are in your network?
That out. We haven't gotten there yet, but we do a lot of. We have a newsletter that we sell that lists all these table games. Like what you see on the site is about a year old, and we have more updated information that we have as part of a newsletter. That's one way we fund. We do the affiliate work through a partnership. That's still in the early phase, and so we're juggling a lot of things. We do some consulting work. It just depends on what we have scheduled and who comes to us. And we've done a pretty good job in this town of getting a name for how we're the experts in the gaming space here, and so it's helped us with a lot of things. Though the affiliate is what we've been concentrating on lately, but that's a very competitive niche.
It sure is, especially these days, right? With everybody and anybody trying to get into that world, and the legalization of sports betting in the United States really has kind of opened a lot of people's eyes to that as well. Tell me a little bit about how social media plays a part in what you do, and have you found it to be beneficial to at least spreading the word about what you guys are doing, or do you not use it as much?
So I think that a lot of the way we got here was through Twitter. Is that I had built up quite a following of people that were interested in the best video poker in Las Vegas and the best table games, and so I was able to use that to help promote the site. So I started a Vegas Advantage Twitter account. It's almost 8,000 followers, 7,900, something like that.
Wow.
And so it took about 3 or 4 years, but we have noticed, so we mostly focused on Twitter, and we've noticed that there has been a decline in that interaction in the last couple of months. Things have been kind of controversial there. We stay out of that. To us, Twitter just communicate. However, there's no denying that it's not the same, and that we have fewer followers on our account 60 days later than we did 60. We go up 2 or 3% a month, but right now we have fewer total followers than we had 60 days ago, and we also have a lot less interaction. I think there's a lot of dormant people have gone dormant during all this. Facebook has been good though. Even the last 2 months that Twitter kind of has faltered on us, we have about 1,000 followers on our Vegas Advantage Facebook account, and I've noticed that interaction has gone up a lot more than it had been in the past. So maybe people are moving back to Facebook.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that is very interesting. Who knows what all the dynamics of these social channels are? I see it all the time where one channel's like kind of going, and then another channel does, and then you're like, wait, they adjusted the formula. All of a sudden now nothing's being ranked here or ranked there, and we're kind of seeing that with TikTok right now as well. Whereas people's views and engagement are way down, and everybody's like, what's going on? And so who knows with all the social channels? Hard to keep up with that world, isn't it?
Right. And Twitter's not public anymore, so we won't get their traffic anymore, I wouldn't guess, or at least maybe you couldn't trust it 100% like you could before. So we don't really know what it could be down 50% for all we know. I mean, it probably isn't, but it's probably down 10 or 20%. I don't think I think there's a lot of evidence that says that it's down some.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere, but I think its value has dropped.
Interesting to hear. So what's the future look like for, not only Vegas Advantage, but I know you mentioned other sites that you guys have up and you're launching and all of the above, but what's the future look like for you two in this crazy world that we all operate in?
The ideal, I guess, situation would be that we would like to travel a little bit more. May 2021, we took a trip. Due to pandemic restrictions and financial restraints, we had to limit our trip. So we visited 58 casinos in 14 days. We actually planned on more. That's the number we got into. So it was a really amazing trip. It was really cool to actually go visit a bunch of properties that a lot of people have never visited. And so we kind of had a firsthand view at some of these other casinos in other states. It's part of why we opened up our network to some more websites with some other casinos and states like that. So we'd like to do a little bit more of that, a little bit more traveling, seeing what's going on in other parts of the country, finding little, fun hole-in-the-wall places, fun games people wouldn't know exist, and kind of like expanding our ability to help people like we have in Vegas throughout other casino markets and stuff like that. So that's one of our long-term goals that we would like to do with the network of sites. Excuse me. The network of sites. We have the U.S. Casino Advantage site. That kind of connects a lot of the other states and stuff together. So it gives us a place to have a specific state that we can land the information and stuff still as we're learning it. So he talked about some of the things we do. I'm working on updating them, but one of our prides was making like dining type pages and stuff. When you go to Atlantic City and you want to eat, it's really hard to know what's open and what's available right now. And so I'm kind of put together some dining guides of like, all right, if it's lunchtime on Wednesday, what's open? Because normally you can find a casino, what restaurants are there, but you have to click each restaurant individually to know when it's open and what's going on. So we're just trying to find ways to restructure information that's already out there to make it more useful for our consumers and the people that come to our website for our information. So.
Yeah, that trip we took off and landed in Cincinnati and made our way to Atlantic City in a circle. It was
I love that
road trip.
I love that, and I love that goal. That's a great world, right? If you're able to travel and do what you love and be together and like see the world, and then also figure out how to make a living from that, through the web, man. It's crazy world that we live in that we're able to kind of do that kind of thing. So I commend you for making that a goal, and we all wish we could travel a little bit more. Hopefully, you'll get down to Florida and create Florida Advantage at some point.
We do own a domain for it, but your legislative situation there is not ideal at the moment. I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah, okay. We won't go there right now, but yes, I could see that being a little bit of a holdup for sure. Well, that's interesting. So one thing I like to ask, and again, I don't know, I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit, but we have all sorts of business people watching this. We got people, startups in the sports betting space, or people owning a business, or entrepreneurs that are trying to get into the gaming space. What's one thing that you guys are looking for, or maybe need, or maybe are struggling with, or one of the big, toughest things that you guys have that maybe somebody watching could potentially help with, or potentially have some advice on? Anybody have anything that comes to the top of their head there?
All right, well, I'll go first then. The two things that I think that we could use help in, one is to become more competitive in the SEO space of these highly competitive monetized keywords. One of our thoughts was, if we drew the traffic, we have the traffic, that we would be able to bring the monetization that way. And that's only been somewhat successful. We need the targeted keywords, and we have some of them. We watch it grow every month, and we're finding where we're successful and trying to aim on those and trying to avoid the ones that are too competitive. We're still on page 4 a year later. All right, well, maybe we need help with that, or maybe we're just not as good at that as we are with the one we got to page 1 on. Why don't we get to number 1 instead of number 5 now? So that
sure.
And that is probably the number one thing that we could use the help with. The other one that comes to mind is that we don't produce videos. All of our content is words, and we have never really investigated starting a YouTube channel or TikTok account or anything like that. So those are the two places where I believe that we have room to improve for sure.
I love that. I think both of those are very important, and in any business, but especially a content-driven business, right? And so I think videos would be amazing for what you guys are doing. I think if you built some element of that into your travel and into seeing these casinos and things of that nature, would be amazing. Obviously, a lot of work, right? I understand the work that goes involved with that. But who knows? Maybe there are people out there that can help. Actually, I'm going to have a conversation with you afterwards. Maybe there's a way I can help with some of that as well. So who knows? Who knows?
It'd be happy for us to record in there. No issues at all. We just don't have the equipment or the expertise to take him up on the offer.
Sure. That's amazing. That's awesome. Well, cool, guys. Well, I'm going to let you go here fairly quickly, but I always leave it with one last thing. Like, do you guys have anything that I left out? Any last words? Anything you want to tell the audience, or say maybe something I left out that you kind of want to touch on? I'll leave it for both of you to put in your last word.
No, I'll just say that I know some people think we're crazy for being married and working together. Honestly, I think open communication and realizing you're both humans, the key there. We know when one of the other's frustrated, we kind of talk to each other how to deal with it, so we don't end up in arguments and other stuff. And so really communication is how this works really well. And, you know, we don't find ourselves, even when we find ourselves in disagreement, we work through ways to talk stuff through as civil adults. And if we know we can't talk like civil adults, we know to separate ourselves until we can talk like civil adults. And so that's been, I think, the key to a lot of our success is being able to openly communicate our ideas and work through conflicts and stuff that way.
Yeah, we have not had any major disagreements. We have disagreed, but never gotten to the point where we're screaming at each other and the kids are like,
yeah, thank you. I commend you both on that. I've tried many times getting my wife involved with my business, and it just, you know, it's not that it's drop dead arguments. It's just hard. It's tough. It's difficult. You know, you also want your spouse to be your spouse and not your business friend, right? And so it's like you got to be able to disconnect it at times as well. So I commend you two for the way you're able to make that work. Thanks for sharing that, Kristina. I really appreciate it. John, how about you? Any last words? Any last words or anything we missed from your end?
I think that was one of the things that it didn't work. Even if you're not married, business partners are business partners. You have to make sure you're somebody that you're compatible with, so to speak, so that when you have I guess 3 sometimes works better than 2, right? Because then 2 people, hey, you know, we agree. But that being able to communicate with your business partner is absolutely the way you have to go. Because if we argued about basic operations, we could never have gotten anywhere near this far.
Sure, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much. So let's drop some links. VegasAdvantage.com is where you go to the blog and check out. I know you have a lot of other sites as well. Hopefully after this, you can send me a little list. We'll put it in the show notes of this. That way everybody can check it out. But if somebody wanted to get a hold of either of you, how would they do that? And then go ahead, Kristina, if you had something else to add.
I was just going to say, you could also scroll to the very bottom of the website, and there's little poker chips with all the other websites on the bottom of every site.
Oh, I see that now. I missed that the first time. Okay.
So the other 9 sites are at the bottom there.
Amazing. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you guys, what's the easiest way to reach out to you two?
Well, so my Twitter account is John_Mehaffey, Mehaffey. The DMs are open, so they can just send me a DM there. Our business email is admin@vegasadvantage.com. So those are the 2 ways to get in touch with us, whether it's kind of a personal or business related to the websites.
Amazing. I'll make sure to put all that in the show notes as well. That way people can just click them and they'll get out to them. And be able to get a hold of you guys and hopefully chat a little bit about what's going on in Vegas and all these other states that you're covering. So, all right. Well, John and Kristina, I really enjoyed this. I really wish you all the best with your sites. And again, if there's anything I can do to help, please reach out. Wish you all the success in the world. Thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for having us, Ryan.
All right. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right. That was John and Kristina Mehaffey. Awesome people doing some awesome things. I love people that, really see a need. They saw a need that, hey, we need to get out here and talk about Vegas and talk about, all the different things that's going on with gaming in Vegas. And they just attacked it, been in the gaming space for quite some time, lots of experience in this space. And so I urge you to head out to Vegas Advantage. I mean, we all take at least 2-3 trips to Vegas every year, right? So next time you're going, check out, everything, all the info they got, grab their newsletter, get on their newsletter. I'm sure that can help you with what's going on in Vegas. And then also check out the other states as well. All right. That is all I have for today. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate the time and effort. I think near the end of the year here, I'll try to put out some stats. Everybody always asks me, well, how many people are listening or how many, listens do you get? And I'm like, well, I don't even know. I don't check that stuff. I just enjoy doing these shows for you guys. And I enjoy when I meet others that say, hey, I listened to this show or I listened to this show and it really helped me or I loved that guest. I love that type of feedback. So please reach out to me. I'm Ryan Nupel at KNUP at Ryan Nupel on all the socials. I'd love to hear any story you have around this show, or if you'd love to be on this show or know somebody that wants to be on the show, please don't hesitate to reach out in those regards either. All right. Have a great holiday, everyone. If I don't talk to you before the new year hits, have a great new year. Stay safe, and we will be in touch as 2023 heads in. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.